And we are live. Welcome back to the New Earth Project live stream. Super grateful to have you here and to be able to share this space with you. We are tonight we are going to be talking about unleashing your creativity. What are our different creative outlets? What is creativity? How do we experience creativity, and how do we unleash it after we've gone through this whole awakening process, and how we reignite that creative spark that we had when we were children. And if you haven't already, connect with us on other social medias. We are on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And you could also connect with us, connect with our community in our Discord and Telegram chats, where it's really awesome. We're building a super strong, super passionate community. It's really a ton of fun. And it's awesome to be in a space with like-minded individuals like that. And so let's get right into it. So unleashing your creativity, creativity is something that we all come with as being a human. It's something that we're born with. We have this innate sense, this natural expression of creativity. We all have it. We were all born with it. We all have it when we were children. When we were children, we would love to just create paint and just even paint on ourselves and just we just go crazy. And kind of over time and going through the different institutional school systems, things like that, the creativity that we once had when we were children gets it's an attempt to suppress that natural creativity that we had, that creativity to go out and play and have imaginary friends, and that big imagination. It gets suppressed the longer and the more you go through that society. And going through that awakening process, you begin to unlock those things that you lost as you grew up. You unlock those things that your inner child had, and creativity is that one thing that we all lost to some extent over time. And as you go through that awakening process, you begin to reignite and reactivate that creativity that flows within your essence. And so basically what we're going to be talking about to start it off is we're going to be talking about our different creative outlets and how we express our own creativity. And one of those things of how I express my creativity is I get a crap ton of ideas and just different innovative ideas that can help bring benefits to the world, and also innovative ideas that I can implement into my own life that can help me perform better and just produce the results that I am looking for. And another thing that I love expressing creativity through is writing different poems and such. If you have seen through the New Earth if you look on our TikTok page or Instagram Reels, you'll see us reciting different lines of a poem. And I usually, whenever I get in that creative juices hour, it just starts to flow, and I just love writing up the poems, and it just flows right through. It just feels so channeled and just whoo. And it's really a great feeling. It makes that inner child within me just spark on fire. And so those are just two things that really unleash that creativity with me. And I'm trying to think of something else and also just I'm a content creator. I create content. I love smashing together different videos and just playing with different things. Maybe this graphic would look cool behind this green screen in a video. We get this little video montage going here. That looks super sweet. That really could portray that message there. And so those are just a couple of things that I do that's kind of like my creative outlet that really enforces that and unleashes that creativity within me. So, Stephanie, would you like to talk about your?
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Hi, I'm Stephanie. For anybody new to the project, thanks so much for joining us this week. Like Sunny was saying, I really think that our creativity, if you're kind of wondering how would I even express that? I don't know. For me, when I like shoved myself back into the Matrix life, I kind of felt like I lost a lot of the things that I had when I was a kid. I used to love to sing. I never said I was great, but like it makes my soul happy, you know? So it's like that's what it's really about. It's not, you know, about the end results. It's not what like anybody else thinks about it. It's like what, you know, speaks to you. And as a kid, I used to really love writing songs. So I'm getting back into these things now. I feel much more confident like singing around people. And it's like trying to, like Sunny said, with the poems, sometimes I feel like I channel songs. And I did that a lot as a kid, which is kind of funny. I didn't realize that until like now. But I also am, I personally like the music creative side as well. I feel like I have a lot of different facets, a lot of different avenues. I don't know. I also play the cello, and painting is really great. It really depends, I guess, kind of on what mood I'm in. And another thing I found very interesting is the more I was like waking up, I literally just went to go get some tattoos. That's like a thing for me where I felt so kind of shoved into a box. I'd never gotten tattoos because, you know, society says you can't job, I don't know, whatever. So I didn't do that for a while. I'd held off on things that, you know, made me happy because of other people. So now it's like a reintegration with my childhood self. And yeah, I don't know. It feels like really great. I've been um, trying to learn how to draw too. I feel like a lot of those things I've always wanted to maybe do, but I had been kind of shy based on like results, you know what I mean? Based on what people think. So a lot of different avenues. I feel like there's not really just one.
Oh, totally. Creativity can be expressed in millions of different ways. I mean, if we look at the root word of creativity, it's create. It's whatever creativity is expressed through whatever reality we were creating. We can create anything through that. And yeah, just going through and blocking out and unlearning all those different things that we were programmed to believe, like, oh, creativity's bad. Yeah. And just kind of returning back to that heart center, returning back to the inner child, and stepping back into that creative expression.
Totally.
Brother Rome.
Brother Sonny, thank you. Namaste. Thank you for this space and sharing all the stories with us. It's so nice. Appreciate being a part of this here. Creativity's always been a part of my life as far as I can remember. As a young man, I was a young artist, kind of a prodigy artist. I had a young career as an artist. And then life just became life. I became an adult, and then the programming settled in, and I got away from my art for a long period of time. I went through a successful period of my life in business and in relation. And then it was funny, once before the buildup of my awakening, as I started building up my awakening, my creative juices start coming back. I've often had creative bursts, like I want to build something, or I want to, have something done with my hands. That's always been a part of me. But the buildup was I found myself almost drawn to be and do creative things. I got in a period where I was painting, and I got in a period where I was doing sculpture, which is something I never really did before, but it just gave me this confidence to do that. And then of course, I had my full awakening, and things look different, and you look back on it and you understand just well, from my perspective, how life took me away from those creative things and those early feelings as a young man, being free and being able to express myself. And then the awakening kind of made me break through it all, and then refine that young man again. So I'm very grateful with that. I also find that there's a lot of different ways of creativity and ways of expressing myself. Um, Not much. I'm not musical in a way, but I like to cook, and when I cook, I like to have music in the room. I think it makes the food taste better. And it's just kind of my belief about that. But as far as the creative comes, I think a lot of it is just being acknowledging that you have this energy, and you should express it. You should get out there and use it. and do the best that you can with whatever you got. That's how I like that.
I resonated super hard with putting on the music when you're making food. Oh, I like, if I'm making food, there has to be music on. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. Like I can't make the food, you know? But yeah, just going out there and expressing your creativity, whichever avenue it is a huge benefit to the world. Because that creative expression is expression of source. That's where that creativity is coming from. It's coming from source, and it's coming from a very, very beautiful heart-centered place. Brother Jake, love to hear your expressions of creativity.
So it's very sad how whenever, like, as soon as we are born, we are put in like a system, like, because as a child, like, we are like just creative beings. Like, literally, like, my little brother would be like, let's play bad guys, and I'm like, where's the bad guys? He's like, right there, and I'm like, there's no one there. You know, he's like, you know, it's just, everyone likes to be creative and get creative with it, which is really fun, because me and my friends would always like play games or whatever and come up with new stuff, and it'd just be very fun to be creative with it. But it's sad how in the beginning, like, you're just this creative being who just wants to do whatever, and then all of a sudden we're not taught to embrace that. We're taught to sit in a chair, listen for the bell. You know, there's only one correct answer. You know, and just as you go down from like K through 12, it's just beats you down, and you're just not the same. You're just not the same creative being anymore. That's like it's what the school system is, really. But yeah. So there was a quote by Albert Einstein that your knowledge is limited, but your imagination encircles the world. And I actually have it hanging up on my wall. But that just like basically reminds me, just, you know, like, life is what you make it, you know, like, if you want to get creative with it and make up games that you and your friends can play, do it. Like, if you want to listen to music and cook your food and feel that enchantment of the music and the food, you know, do it. Like, for me personally, I think, yes, music is a very big aspect in that role, because, like, who doesn't like listening to music and just vibing or making food or whatever? But I think I really started my creativity, like embracing it, was in my art class in high school. Like, as dumb as that sounds, like high school or whatever, but it was just eye opening to me that I actually had like a slot in the day where I could literally just create, like, just do something where I wanted to do, you know, like draw a photo or paint a picture or a sculpture. Like, that stuff was really fun. And like, I remember making a sculpture and like seeing like the final product of it, and it was just like, wow, like, it's crazy that I could make something like this. Like, I could have done whatever I wanted. The possibilities are limitless, which is why Albert Einstein said that imagination encircles the world and knowledge is limited. It's because you could literally think of anything, but the knowledge there is, you can't already think of past knowledge, but your imagination can create whatever it would like to.
Yeah, imagination runs the world, dude. Like, it runs the world. All great things,
Yeah,
in this world
exactly.
start from an idea, and that idea comes from imagination. It comes from creativity, and
Yeah.
the things that back up that knowledge and creativity and help facilitate and create the structure for that creativity to be held. That's where knowledge and all that starts to come into play.
Yeah, exactly.
Creating that structure for that creativity to exist and flow through.
Because if you think about it, literally everything, even this computer that I'm using, your phone, it all started from an idea. Like, someone had to sit down and think, like, how can I make the technology to better the world? Um, like, literally everything is technology. Like, our beds, our clothes, anything that betters the human life, and everything started from an idea, which is which is your imagination and your creativity. But there's also this one saying that small-minded people talk about people, average-minded people talk about events going on in the world, and big brain people talk about ideas. And I think that humanity has to start resonating more with their creative and imagination side to them.
Yes, and expressing that divine creativity and divine expression and the imagination, embracing the imagination, and welcoming it is completely beneficial to humanity, because that imagination, that creativity, it comes from the heart. And when we're, as a species, when we are living from a heart center, we're able to connect with each other more and have more empathy for each other, and we're able to co-create some amazing things.
I just thought of this, but I can't do this right now because it is currently snowing outside. Chalk, like literally just chalk, like on a nice, like sunny, warm day. If anyone who's listening to this, just grab some chalk and just go outside and just start painting or just start drawing like flowers and just anything that comes to mind. Like chalk is a great idea.
Let me add something here. Something I've been doing. I buy a little.
Oh my God! Wait! I had to pause for a second because when you said chalk, right? I actually I'm driving in the snow, guys. Oh my gosh, my name's Melanie. I'm driving and I'm hearing everybody's expression. I really just want to say that I just feel so much joy, and I just feel the passion of every single creative outlet that we all use. And I just want to say that we need to continue to utilize and take care of our tools. But I do want to say that cooking is one of my creativities that I enjoy creating. I love being in the kitchen. It's like my science lab. When you mentioned chalk, by the way, I actually used to go outside and I used to paint with blueberries and raspberries, like on the wall. So I just thought I had to bring back a childhood memory that I would do. And I thought, maybe you guys want to try it. If you guys want to try like different fruits one day. I mean, that's something I just did when I was young, and I thought, that'd be cool to just express that. I'm also working on being more expressive because I was not really expressive at all throughout my childhood, and my birthday just passed recently, like almost 2 days ago, literally 2 days ago.
That's awesome. It's awesome being able to just express it. Express that creativity that we've all carried throughout our childhood. It's truly beautiful. Brother Rome, what is it that would you like to continue?
No, I was just going to mention something I've been practicing for about 3 years now. I take small little canvases or pieces of wood and I paint little things on them. I get them, put the word belief on it or some positive message, and I'll just leave it. I'll leave it in front of a store. I'll leave it by someone's car. I'll leave it at a gas station. I'll leave it by a bench, and it's just about, sharing that expression, sharing that love in that artistic way. And last year, a friend of mine who's in an RV took a stack of them and he went all the way down to Mexico and back, and he just was dropping them off left and right. And so he would take pictures of when they were out. And every time he took a picture where he would leave it, in a bathroom stall or on a restaurant table or whatever, he would take a picture and send it to me. And I just get a big warm smile out of it because I'm watching this just being shared, and being out there and expressing itself. And it just continues to share. And I know someone picked that up and found that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a pretty cool way of expressing and sharing.
That reminds me a lot of what my neighborhood, like the neighborhood people, like people in my neighborhood we used to do. We used to like paint rocks and put like little messages on
They
it.
do that. Yeah, there's actually there's a Facebook group.
Yeah, so
that shares these things. They put the rocks down and then you put on the back the address to the Facebook group, and people will come on a Facebook group and say, "Look what I found, your rock,"
Yeah, it's awesome. We'd be so surprised on how that seems so small and so insignificant, but the ripple effect that has just by you just express, like, just painting a little bit and putting a little inspiring message, it could really change somebody's day, and really it can activate them, and they're gonna go on, like, after hearing that, after seeing that message and experiencing that, they're gonna go on and they're gonna impact other people with that message, that it started with you just by expressing that natural, that creativity,
I
and just
just got these
sharing
in
that
the
love.
mail. I just got these in the mail. I'll do a whole nother set of them.
Thank you for sharing that, Ram. That gives me an idea. I'm gonna start.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And you know, a little paint on rocks, you know, it's like paint markers on rocks, and just sharing a little feeling like, hey, be happy today, or you know, you love you. And you know, it's a great little thing to share.
That's awesome.
Really, oh, that just lights me up. I love it so much.
Yeah, that makes me want to go do that right now.
Yeah, it's awesome. Is there
Hey.
anything else, Stephanie?
Sorry, I was raising my finger. I don't know if you could see it. That kind of also prompted the chalk like memory. I also used to play a lot with chalk outside, but that also prompted another memory of how I used to draw on the wall with crayons all the time. My mom was so mad. But I just like thought it was so fun. I don't know. I thought it was pretty. But another note is that, like, even though you're going through an awakening or something and you're starting to like reawaken creative energies, it's not like always a consistent flow. You know what I mean? I'm not like always in the mood to like sing and do things. Like a lot of times I have to like put myself in the mood to do those things because those creative energies help me feel better. So like sometimes it's, you know, it's a matter of kind of breaking back out of that matrix you or something like that and finding your childhood self, you know, a lot of healing and everything like that. So it's healing isn't linear, you know what I mean? So we don't, you know, be sad about not feeling like you want to paint one day, you know, try to do it in a different way where you're like, oh, well, I don't know, like I'm home alone. I could sing this song that resonates with how I'm feeling today. And just like kind of opening up those energies really will do more than you think it will. That's it.
Yeah, so opening up and allowing the creativity to flow through is it's almost it's hard to force yourself to be creative. It's almost like the creativity chooses when to come in and just flow. Like you'll know when it's coming, like, because whenever you feel that heart's desire to go and do that thing, that's when you should, like, you just have to turn off your thinking mind in that instance, and be like, okay, I'm gonna follow my heart. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go write this poem. Like, I'm gonna write this poem because my heart wants to write this poem, and I'm just gonna let my heart guide me and take me through that, and to draw this cool little thing and make this sculpture. And letting your heart take over is key to expressing creativity.
Stephanie, whenever you said drawing with chalk on like the outside of the house, that reminds me, because like whenever I was a kid, I remember I like this one time I like grabbed a black Sharpie, and I literally, like, all the walls in my house were white. Okay, I just started drawing on all of the walls. Like, I don't even know why. Like, I just, like, I remember like going up the staircase. I was just like, you know, just like drawing or whatever. And then like my parents get home, who the heck drew on the wall? And I'm like, I did it. You know,
right? Like I was so proud.
I was like, do you not like my drawing? It was literally just like scribble lines, and I was like, yeah, isn't it beautiful? Like it was hilarious. Like
That's awesome.
It's really funny.
That reminds me, whenever when I was young, my mom looked away for like 5 minutes, and I took black permanent marker and I drew all over my brother and I, because we were like pretending to be, we were going through that rock star phase. We wanted to be rock stars, so I was drawing black tattoos all over us. It was a good time. It was funny. Campton, do you wanna step up and talk about that? Your creativity, your different creative outlets?
Sure. Yeah. So I loved hearing from every single individual here. I mean, beautiful expressions so far. And, unleashing your creativity is about, blasting through those blocks of fear. And, a lot of the times we're afraid to create because of what other people will think, as other people mentioned. And really, there's kind of a fail-safe built into the universe where you can actually attain something unless it's under your own free will and you move through that barrier of fear. So your manifestations in your life situation is actually protected by that divine ordinance. So you can be and do whatever you want. And that's the trouble, right? Because if you want something, you have to go get it. And I think that's God's greatest grace, because when I see God as just everything, this intrinsic intelligence that has born the entire universe and that we've manifested out of. So God's greatest grace here is that he leaves us alone. And we have to listen to channel that through. And unleashing your creativity, you can have these ideas in your mind, and I've had these poems in my heart. I've had these swirling ideas again in my heart and my emotions, and it was only until like I was using my fingers to actually type out the words and look at them that I felt the emotion. So there's a lot of these ideas that are swirling around in our minds that don't actually manifest and don't actually give us the emotion that it could, because we're keeping it inside. We're keeping it in that ambiguous mental zone. So unleashing your creativity is realizing that you are an individuation of infinity. You are so worthwhile. It is crazy. And every single action and expression that comes out of you, whether it's from anger or whether it's from happiness, it's a lesson and it moves you forward, right? Every line of dialogue that you communicate to someone else is the line of dialogue in the book of eternity that only you can speak. And everyone here is part of that book because we all exist, and it's very evident. So unleashing your creativity is listening to that source, listening to the emotion that's trying to claw its way out of the suffering and the dank cellar that the matrix has encased your psychology within. And like Stephanie was saying, like singing, singing is a wonderful expression because that's our song. Like birds sing. Humans have that same function. We just live in a society where everyone takes themselves too seriously. Everyone cares too much, and that winds into our psychology. We start to care what other people think when we all just desire to be held and have that person, have those people around us that are nice to us. And that's something that everyone has and is afraid of committing to and allowing because of that mask, the mask that we all put on that perpetuates masks. So take off your mask, be fearless, because you will still live. Your heart is going to still beat afterwards, and it's going to be much stronger because you allowed it to flourish. And why would you keep a flower from blooming? So unleashing your creativity is about realizing that you are an individuation of the force that created everything, and you deserve that respect. And if anybody ever comes to try to take that away from you, you can realize that they're not making the winning move, right? And your winning move is love. And if you show that to them, maybe one day that'll wake up within them. So I love you all.
Why would you prohibit a beautiful flower from blooming? I love that. I love that line. It's a great line, man. And that essentially represents your creativity that you carry with you. And why would you want to prohibit that? Why would you want to stop that amazing expression of love from blooming and blossoming and expressing it to the entire world? And yeah, it's fucking awesome. Does anybody have any other thoughts that they would like to express?
I just thought while we're saying it, did we mention dance? Because there are a lot of people that express themselves in that way. And
I don't think we mentioned dancing.
If I'm feeling blue or feeling something, you will find me outside, or I'll just start dancing, right, Jake? Like, and God bless her, my wife's a big help with this because she's always likes dancing. When she was a kid, they would do all the dance routines and stuff. And this is before it got popular now, right? But there are a lot of people expressing themselves through dance and creating new dances and way that, and it's, you see the enthusiasm, you got to see that they're loving into it. So yeah, we can't forget about that as well.
Oh yeah. Wow, how do we forget about the dancing, man? I love dancing. It's so awesome. Like it just being able, and it just connects you with that flow in your body, and you're just like, and so it gets your entire system involved within the creative activity.
Right. And like Captain said, you get about that facing your fear. How many times have we heard people that said, oh, I can't dance, or I'm not good at dancing and stuff, you know, and they need to, those are the people who need to be out there and just cutting it loose and letting it flow and letting them be themselves. That's right. Break through that veil.
Absolutely. Sorry, I wanted to add some one more thing to the chakras and unleashing that, and especially with the dancing, that's the fear. Like, so when you're in your room and you're trying to dance or you're trying to sing, you're gonna hit foul notes, right? You're gonna make a foul sound, and that's what we're afraid of. We're afraid of making a foul sound and resonating or not resonating with someone. But we literally are light and sound, right? Our human body is a prism that the source, I guess, intelligence, the source bright white light comes into and prisms out into the 7 chakras, right? 7 chakras, 7 notes in an octave, 7 days of the week. These are the patterns of our life. So with creativity, it's not just about unleashing your voice. It's about what you're communicating, what intuition led you there, what emotion led you there. See, that's already 3 chakras. And then the rootedness in your survival. If this goes wrong, I will continue to move forward. And you have to hit that foul note, because it takes overcoming that courage to unleash the fullest expression of your voice. And you have to make that dance move and just make a fool of yourself, because that right there is about not caring what other people think, therefore activating more of your energies, activating your chakras, and unleashing your sound, your soul force. And if you channel that, you'll notice this. Actually, any instrument that you pick up, whether it's from a stick to a cello, right, you are going to have to channel your heart song into that. And the way that you do this is you let your body be guided by that intuition. You let your body say what it wants to say, and you feel that feeling of that didn't sound right, but you don't say I'm not right. You don't say I can't do it. You say that didn't sound right. Let me try again, because the whispers continue. The whispers from the source will continue. You have to break through.
Well said, man. Well said, Campton. The creativity will always flow through, and it's not a you problem. It's not a problem at all. It's just, okay, this thing doesn't work. Let me try this. And then it's a continuous process. Okay, this will work. This doesn't work. Okay. Let me implement this.
Yeah, that's the ego, bro. The ego talks you out of it. It says this sound has to be perfect right away, or I'm not going to do it, right? It's avidly trying to get you to stop. And trying to sing, trying to dance runs you into those little things, and then you just keep going forward. And the ego, it actually puts itself on a pedestal. It says, I don't need to practice. I should just be good at this, right? And then, no way, you're not going to get away with that, right? You have to go through the fear of sucking for like forever until you get to the point where you really love where you're at. And you have to love where you're at. Like, if you've got talent and you're good at that, you have to say, hey, cool, that sounded great. I appreciate myself. Because if you're too overly self-critical, you're going to cake that ego back in, and you're going to destroy something beautiful, which is, I guess, you at the end of the day. So don't destroy yourself by limiting yourself or thinking that you have to be perfect right away, because yeah, it's going to take a lot of practice. You're going to fuck up. And the more that you accept that, in fact, the more creativity you have access to. You're willing to take those risks. You're willing to be reckless. You're willing to be anything, and you are everything. So it's a smart idea.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. Is there anything else that anybody like to comment about, anything that what is creativity, like how they channel in their creativity, how it comes into them, how they get in that flow? Is there any other comments that anybody would like to make?
Well, I tell you, in the history of me doing my art, there was a period of time when I was always most creative when things were really bad for me, right? When life was really beating me down or things weren't going the way I wanted to, I was able to find myself, to put myself in a room or a studio and just focus, right? And that would be like my meditation. And I work everything out through that creative energy. I turn the music up, or put some headphones on and just jam it out. And I would just continuously work, and I would work a block of time, like 8-10 hours at a stretch. And just when it was all done, all this work was done, all my, negative energy was just released right all onto that, and I just felt so much better, because when it was done, I looked at what I created and I was like, oh, look at that, all that positivity just came out. Now I can, move forward with all that. So I found a lot of times, and it changes, like you said, it changes from cycle to cycle. I'm going through a cycle right now where I'm getting creative juices again, and they're bringing it up, and you're just going to have to acknowledge it and utilize the best that you can with it. So for me, it's kind of changed. It used to be driven into a very positive thing. There was a negative thing, then back into a positive thing. So there's like these waves that I go through. We'll see how this cycle takes us.
I feel the same way. My creativity, like I'll feel like for like a couple weeks, I'll be like, where did my creativity go? Did it just like get completely drained? And then like the next like couple months, I'm like, woo, I'm just riding the wave of the creativity, and it's just like, whoa, like I
You
didn't
can
know
get
like
that energy, like when you go to see a band, or you go to see a concert, or other people are dancing, or you go to a museum, or you go to a place where there's art around you. You get that vibe because it's shared energy. It's out there. I mean,
Mhm.
how all of us can remember a certain song that we can relate to an emotion or a time in our life, right? That energy is shared. It's like, staying into our mind. So it's the same thing. Like for me, because it's visual, a time period where I was doing a certain series of paintings or drawings, that reflects back to that emotional state, or to where I was then. So it's very heart centered too.
Yeah, picking up on other people, like you could pick up on whenever other people are expressing their creativity, you immediately pick up on it, and it almost activate it activates something in you. It activates that creativity within you. And so whenever you're in the field of somebody that is expressing their creativity freely, you're like, you get this feeling inside your heart, like, oh, I want to go do this. I want to go paint this thing, or I want to go draw this, or I want to go make this video, or I want to go create whatever it is. And you just pick up on it. It's instantly. It's so cool how it works. And it's really a beautiful thing. Creativity is something that needs to be taught, like just be freely being able to be freely express it throughout all schools, instead of, oh, this, you got to do this, you got to follow this instead.
They say, for children, young people, or young adults who learn an art, or learn a music, or learn that kind of way of expression, when they go further into their lives, they're more open and explore to different avenues, and they are, it's just, they become a more rounded citizen, right? Their path has now been widened and opened, so it has a trickle down effect. Like if someone's taught piano, more likely they're going to try and teach their children piano. So that positive energy, creative energy keeps flowing.
That makes a lot of sense, and it almost makes you open-minded, in a sense, more open-minded, and have a broader perspective in a way, because by expressing that creativity and expressing all these different outlets, you're able to see and open yourself to the infinite possibilities of life. And so that makes you a more, like you said, it makes you a more well-rounded person, and more open-minded, and have a broader perspective on life, since you're tapping into that infinite. You're tapping into infinite being and infinite energy, essentially.
It's also a character builder too. Like Captain mentioned, you get past your fears of expressing yourself, and you become a stronger character and a stronger individual. So feeling the creative juices and actually utilizing those juices is a positive benefit to your, awakening and to your growth. It should be nurtured and expressed. Absolutely.
And as we talked about, it's extremely beneficial to others around you as well. Like we said, with the rocks, and teaching your children how to play the piano, and it's extremely beneficial to not only you, but those around you. And yeah, and I strongly encourage everyone to go out and express as much creativity as they possibly can and whatever their heart desires, and to follow their heart, as it has a much bigger impact than you may think. And so, is there anything else anybody would like to add to creativity at all before we start to roll into meditation? And so that kind of concludes our talk on creativity. And so what we normally do with our weekly broadcast is we do a meditation on envisioning the new earth. So essentially what we do is we hold in our vision of the new earth, and we ground it into Mother Gaia to help bring that higher frequency, that higher vibration into Mother Earth, and to raise the vibration of the entire planet. And so before we get into that, I would just like to invite you to join our Discord and Telegram communities. And we're building an amazing community of like-minded individuals, and it's really awesome to just be able to have that space where you can go into and you could talk about all these different things. You talk about your dreams, creativity, just all these different thoughts that you're having, and it's a super open space and safe space where you can go and express yourself freely and openly, and connect you back to that inner child. And if you haven't already, connect with us on other social medias. Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We're on there. We're posting some cool content on there, so check us out over there. And let's get right into this meditation. Begin by beginning to relax, whether that be lying down, sitting down. As you begin to feel yourself start to relax, breathe in slowly. Breathe out through your nose. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. And as you breathe out, feel yourself relaxing more and more. Relax your shoulders, your body. Start to imagine yourself feeling like Jello. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Now, I would like for you to imagine this white ball of light spinning just above your crown. Now, this ball of light carries healing codes for your body. So as this white ball of light begins to slowly move down through your crown and into your third eye, feel the healing effects that it has throughout your crown and your third eye. Now, as this white ball of light begins to slowly move down through your throat chakra and into your heart, feel the effects that this beautiful white ball of light has on your being. Take notice of the emotions that this has on you. Now imagine this white ball of light slowly moving down into your solar plexus. And into your sacral. And into your roots, connecting you with Mother Gaia. Now this white ball of light has brought healing to your entire body and your chakra system, allowing for your chakras to be aligned, connected with the earth. Now, I would like for you to imagine your vision of New Earth. What do you see? What emotions does New Earth bring to you? Do you see that playground you used to play at when you were a child? Or laughing and hugging with your soul family, sitting around a campfire, telling stories, singing songs. Pure bliss. Now hold that vision of New Earth that you have for yourself. And feel those emotions that vision brings to you. Allow yourself to feel those emotions throughout your entire body. To feel that vision. Feel it going through your head, down through your throat, to your heart, into your solar plexus, through your sacral and to the roots, connecting with Mother Gaia. Now hold that vision just for a little while longer. When you feel called to, start to slowly move your fingers, wiggle your toes, slowly beginning to open your eyes. You feel called, returning back. Whew, that was fun. All right, thank you all for joining the New Earth Project live stream. It's been an honor sharing this space with you, and it was awesome having this discussion about expressing our creativity and meditating and anchoring that vision of New Earth here on the planet Earth. And if you haven't already, join our community, join our Discord and Telegram community. It's awesome. We're having a great time over there, just talking with like-minded individuals. It's really beautiful. It's really awesome to be able to share that space with such amazing people and connect with our other social medias. And we will see you next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Peace. All right, we are done.